Okay, so the next question is Carrd or Framer? Which one should I pick to build my agency? All right, so here's what I would say about that. There are two different perspectives on this. One, Framer is a much more sophisticated tool. You can do a lot more cool things. The cultural zeitgeist right now is definitely a Framer-based, universe for designers and, folks who are selling templates, etc. But there are cost considerations to incorporate into this decision, such as if you're working with clients and you want to build a link in bio style page for your client, which is a very common request in this sort of space, or a newsletter landing page, where you're building a list, etc. You actually have to either resolve that to a Framer subdomain, so framer.website or framer.media or one of those Framer-owned properties, or you have to actually pay for hosting. And essentially what you're doing at that point is passing on a cost to either your client, or you are inheriting that cost yourself if you're building these sorts of landing pages for you. And I think it can be a consideration, especially as the amount of sites or clients or complexity of the site starts to evolve in your business. So if you're building a one-page landing page for a client, for an example, on Framer, I think it's $5 or something a month in hosting, which is not really a significant cost. I could be wrong about that. They have different packages, so I'd encourage you to check that. But there's not really, it's not a huge cost, but it is a cost. You're actually either incorporating that into the fee, or you're, telling your client you have to pay $5 a month for this site in addition to what you're paying me. In more complex or multi-page sites, the cost goes up on Framer. So I think it goes up to like $25 a month. And again, I'd encourage you to check this rather than trust what I'm just, kind of saying off the top of my head. But because I don't, all my Framer sites are built on the Framer subdomain. So I don't use that feature. Whereas Carrd, you can build, as many sites as you want, as you're paying for in your Carrd stack or package, and you can just simply assign them to a, custom domain as you wish. So that applies for you and for your clients. If I want to build, let's say, a landing page for a new newsletter I want to test, and I want to integrate that with something like ConvertKit, or in our case, Button Down, or Beehive, or one of those sorts of more sophisticated email newsletter platforms, it's literally a 10-minute job. It's simply an integration with the API. On the newsletter side, which is I'm a dum-dum, so don't get scared about APIs. You're just simply opening the side drawer on your Carrd page, and you're inputting the API key from, let's say, Button Down or Beehive or whatever, and then that page is ready on Carrd to accept emails. And simply assigning a custom domain is equally as easy. You're simply setting up the DNS within Carrd and making that play nicely with where your domain name is registered, and you're done. It's more challenging to do all of that, especially for someone like myself who's not a coder or tech person on Framer. I do think, though, that Framer's usefulness is going to increase rapidly over time. The amount of improvements that Framer makes, the amount of templates that are super cool, the amount of really cool things that you can do on Framer is not necessarily equaled or analogous to the same sorts of things that you can do with Carrd. So again, I recommend experimenting with both. Carrd is certainly super low cost, and you can sign up for 50 sites, 100 sites, and build your agency very, very quickly. Or you can just simply as I tend to do, just test a lot of your own offers using Carrd on a bootstrap budget. But I'd also recommend using Framer and just getting yourself familiar with it, maybe taking a short course. I'm certainly a dum-dum when it comes to actually, designing and doing a lot of cool things on Framer. I can't, but what I can do is create e-commerce based, stores and shops and sell products, which is really my focus. And those products, as always, live on other platforms like Gumroad or Lemon Squeezy or Pathright or WooCommerce or whatever it is. You're just simply setting up the Framer shop and sending traffic to the other properties you own to convert those, or other properties you use. You don't own Gumroad, you don't own Lemon Squeezy, you don't own those sorts of stores, but your products can live there, and you can certainly use a Framer shop to build your own brand on your own land rather than doing all of that on those other digital storefronts. So in summation, I recommend starting with Carrd, getting familiar with Carrd, and really quickly iterating your agency using lots of very simple, very hyper-focused and targeted style landing pages. Newsletters are great. So are testimonial and review pages. I've covered all this ad nauseum, so I'm not going to cover that again here. And then on the side, start to dabble with Framer and learn some of the more sophisticated ways in which you can really build a high-end, super beautiful, interactive website using Framer that will impress the hell out of your clients. And certainly, again, if you're someone like myself, you can use that to sell your own products and build your own store, et cetera, which is, a lot of fun. You can also check out our framerlove.com site, which is just a little collection of Framer resources that I like, recommend, and use. So I recommend checking that out if you're interested in seeing some of the stuff that we're doing on Framer. And if you have questions, simply ask me, and I'm happy to share my own experience. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. I appreciate, as always, you listening, and feel free to ask if anything is unclear. Thanks.